In Washington, the name Ricky Klausmeier Garcia means something. He transformed his personal story of addiction into a new state law, Ricky's Law. It passed in 2016, taking effect 2 years later. Ricky, a champion for involuntary treatment for drug and alcohol use. Treatment, he said, saved his life. Others should have that chance. We know there are serious issues with untreated addiction in our community. And look, that's nothing new.
What sort of shape are you in?
50 years ago, KGW aired a documentary on addiction.
Better believe that the alcohol has messed up many of people up.
Exploring how hard it is for people to overcome that disease.
If a man is sick, he takes some medicine. That helps his health. But that isn't a medicine to my nose.
The question remains, is there a better way to help people? Washington and Oregon have similar problems, but Washington is taking a different approach. Ricky's Law made involuntary treatment for substance use disorder legal in Washington. That's not the case in Oregon, where forced treatment is only allowed for people with severe mental illness. Someone with a substance use disorder can be held briefly, but unless they agree to treatment, they're released. Families and healthcare workers often hope that a person chooses to go to rehab voluntarily. But in severe cases in Washington, it's Ricky's Law that's designed to intervene and prevent serious harm.
When the law was enacted, it kind of opened my eyes like, oh yeah, there is something that we can do for those people.
Natalie Olson works at ABHS Chehalis, one of the involuntary treatment facilities in the Evergreen State. 14 people are getting treatment here now. The process looks like this. Someone calls or alerts crisis services in a county. A designated crisis responder investigates. If they believe a person meets criteria for involuntary treatment due to a substance use disorder, they're detained and then taken to a secure withdrawal facility for up to 17 days.
I'm going to provide them care and concern and stabilization and recommendations for the future. And I'm going to hopefully provide hope that they can get those, that they can receive that care that they need.
Washington State Healthcare Authority data shows 961 people received involuntary treatment for substance use between October 2020 and September 2021. That dropped to 640 people the next year. Lauren Davis, Ricky's best friend turned state lawmaker who helped pass Ricky's Law, says the law has been incredibly effective, but not enough people are using it.
Unfortunately, we are seeing just statewide a mass underutilization of this incredibly important life-saving tool, and that has been really frustrating.
Hospitals might not call DCRs to investigate substance use cases if they need to clear bed space. Others might not know it's an option. The data shows most people leave forced treatment facilities after agreeing to continued voluntary treatment, but it's difficult to measure what happens next. And the reality is, for many people facing addiction, recovery isn't always a straight path. Around Mother's Day, this past May, Ricky Klausmeier Garcia passed from Washington into Oregon. Ricky had been sober from his alcohol addiction for years, but he had recently relapsed. On this trip to Portland, Ricky was running from his own law. Crossing the border to Oregon, a refuge away from involuntary treatment as he battled addiction once again.
That was a sign that his disease was active and he was scared.
Ricky's husband, Kelsey, and his sister, Angelica, knew that Ricky couldn't get the help he needed in Portland because there's no Ricky's Law in Oregon.
That I want to go get him and bring him back to Washington for him to get help because I wanted him to keep fighting.
Kelsey realized just how little could be done with Ricky now on the other side of the state line.
And at one point I was talking to providers at that hospital in Oregon, begging them to not let him go. And they basically said, look, we wish we could help you.
Ricky did make it back to Washington.
He came back and then he wanted to get treatment and then he died.
He died in a treatment center.
ropita como un niño chiquito.
In June, family and friends mourned their loss and celebrated Ricky's impact as an addiction recovery leader at his funeral.
I miss him every day. I miss him every moment.
His family hasn't publicly shared details about his death.
I do believe that law saved his life and gave us a lot of time together.
And then when he's in Oregon, that law couldn't save his life.
That's right, yeah.
Ricky was the youngest of 9 children.
And he was the most lovable one of all of us. He just was always pouring and giving love to everybody. He always used to say, I want to change this. I want to be able to change the system so people can get more help like I did.
Forced care is still a high standard. States like Washington value personal freedom, and investigators use a specific legal standard to see if someone should be admitted to treatment against their will.
Sure, it's not the first line thing to do for individuals with this disease, but it is crucial because for the people who do have a severe condition, this is what's going to save their life when nothing else does. It's really the most compassionate thing to help someone whenever they're suffering so severely. And I got to witness that firsthand with Ricky.
So then why doesn't Oregon have something similar? Most states allow involuntary commitment for addiction. Oregon lawmakers proposed a bill earlier this year, but it didn't go far.
When you look at Ricky's law and what it's done in Washington, would you advocate for that law being in place in Oregon?
Yes,
Why?
because so many lives can be saved. There's just a lot of people out there who are hurting, who are hungry for help, who are desperate for help.
With Ricky's death, Davis says she believes Oregon needs to pass a similar law, and Oregon can do it better.
Lessons can be learned from Washington's sort of missteps here around implementation, and other states would not have to, face the same mistakes.
Kelsey Klossmeyer says it would honor his late husband, who wanted nothing more than to make change and help as many people as possible.
That would mean that people in Oregon struggling with this disease have a chance, and that there's hope for people who have fallen through the cracks of the system and are likely to lose their life to this disease.